This is obviously a busy time of the year when, teams pull the plug on guys or make them the fall guy. But this one was much needed. This is the Hornets, a team that's been struggling mightily on and off the court with their players for as long as at least like 6-7 years. It's been just kind of a mess. They've had some good moments, but they've gotten blown out in the play-in tournament. So we saw Steve Clifford step down from his role. Obviously, that was announced before the season ended. He deserves either a better opportunity or just to kind of relax and retire because he is getting up there in age. But I do like the way the Hornets are sort of moving, right? Obviously, Michael Jordan sold the team for a couple $2 billion. I don't remember the exact number. Mm-hmm. They bring in Nets assistant GM Jeff Peterson, which was, in my opinion, a great move because I wish we would have promoted him and got rid of Sean Marks. And obviously now he's brought over a few pieces from Brooklyn's front office, and they just hired former Celtics or current Celtics assistant coach Charles Lee to be their next head coach. And he's been touted as one of the best assistant coaches in the NBA, up there with guys like Sam Cassell, David Adelman, and all those guys. So I asked you last time, right, about Vogel, so I'll go over to you, Antoine. Since this is more of a unique hire. We don't really see these very often, especially for a team that's trying to kind of fix their brand, fix their vision, their culture, to just everything about Charlotte. He's trying to completely change everything. What do you think of this hire for Charlotte?
I think they hit it right on the nail because you don't want Bud go. I'm not saying Bud's going to take that job either, but you don't want a veteran in there. I think for those young guys, you want someone that's definitely, what's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, he's not young.
No, an assistant coach to take the jump to a head coach with a team like that. I think it's a pretty good first step for him to take a team that's kind of been just bottom of the barrel for the last few seasons. I don't think they expect, of course, I think a lot of improvements from him, but I don't think they're expecting something drastic that's going to happen where they're going to be a 1 seed or a 2 seed. They have the players that are great. LaMelo is another injury prone, I guess, good problem they have. He's a really good player when he's on the court. They have Brandon Miller, who was third for Rookie of the Year behind Chet and Wemby. Those are the 2 building blocks for the future. The rest of the team, I don't know. They got to fill out those holes, whatever they want to do. Miles Bridges is still there. He's putting up points, but
he's a free agent, I think, at the end of the season, so he can go.
Yeah, he can go, but there's that whole thing with him. So I know they interviewed JJ Redick. Don't know why he didn't get that job. I guess because maybe they wanted to stay away from, the media type of route with a guy like that.
I think you'd probably want someone with experience because JJ Redick, outside of coaching his son's team, that's about all he has. Charles Lee was an assistant at Bucknell for 4 years, then went to Atlanta for 4 years. Then he was in Milwaukee. He did win a ring with Milwaukee in 2021. Okay. So another guy from that Bud system at least.
Okay.
We'll see if that's any good. We're about to find that out.
Yeah.
And then obviously now I'm being in Boston only for 1 season. So
okay.
Mostly the good teams will get their assistant coaches, plucked from them. So I'm not really surprised. So, but what do you think, Gio?
Well, I mean, talking about JJ Redick, I think he's a stand-up guy. I think I wanted them to hire JJ Redick just to see how he would do.
Yeah.
He's a stand-up guy, so I think he would do a great job. But I don't know much about this guy, to be honest. What's his name again?
Charles Lee.
Charles. Yeah, I don't know much about him. Yeah. I just know that he was the assistant to the Celtics.
Right.
And they played pretty well this season. That's all I know.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess it's a good hire.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something that his name was always prevalent among head coaching jobs this season, especially for the vacancies.
Okay.
I don't think the Nets interviewed him. I don't think the Celtics would ever give a coach permission to, even though we let Ime Udoka walk to them.
Right.
But I think this is a good opportunity for him. And I feel like those situations are really good opportunities for someone trying to prove themselves, and especially with a new GM coming in. You really wanted to get the first guy right, You want to get that first hire under your belt and make sure you did your due diligence properly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you think it's a good fit, good hire?
I think so. I think obviously time will tell. He's never been an NBA head coach before. He's never been a head coach before. So we're getting into uncharted waters with Charles Lee. But I mean, you got to think this is what his 12th year
Wow.
as an assistant coach, his 10th as an NBA assistant coach. So
He's qualified.
he's got it. You got to at least give it a shot. You got to see what you're going to get from him. And I think the more glaring thing for me is they're a rebuilding team. Is he going to be the guy long term, or is he going to be the guy to get you to that situation and then you find someone that's going to take you over the edge? And I'll ask you that. Just early predictions for Charles Lee.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a type of situation where if he's there for 3-4 years, builds that team back up, and follows the Brad Stevens route, possibly into the front office, and you hire a new coach. But who's to say that the Hornets are not going to be like the Celtics of now, where Brad Stevens built that team up and then handed it off to Udoka and then to Missoula, and Stevens won to the front office and now built the team. I don't know if Lee would do that. We have no idea, of course.
I don't think it will happen.
But
Because you got to think from the Celtics' perspective, Danny Ainge left. There was an opening.
Yeah.
With this, I mean, Jeff Peterson's young. He's going to be there for as long as he wants to be there. He's going to. He'll be there. So.
Yeah. I think the Hornets have a high pick this year. I'm sure we'll see in the lottery tomorrow. They have pieces. It's just figuring out with them an identity, specifically with their star player LaMelo Ball always getting into some type of injury in the year and trying to come back, and it's not the same. We know how great he is and how fun he is to watch.
Yeah.
Now with Brandon Miller there as well, those two guys, they want to see together on the court and see how it works.
Yeah.
If you bring in a third guy in the draft, that's another high riser, or someone in free agency that they bring in, they have potential. I think they have a lot of young guys there too that are fairly good. I'm forgetting a couple players' names, but
they're really the important ones. There's really
those two are the top
contributing
ones.
pieces.
They moved off from Gordon Hayward, of course. That was another signing they had.
Yeah, he was also not really playing at his best ability.
Yeah.
So really, I think with a
it's
team
young
like
team.
with a team like that, you really just need to kind of hone in on your main two or three
Exactly.
guys.
Yeah.
And I honestly credit the injuries from LaMelo to his shoes. Everyone I know with Melo Ball shoes have ankle injuries.
And
so.
Steph.
And Steph's.
Yeah, bro.
His shoes too?
Do you see the ankle braces Steph wears during games?
Yeah.
Those ankles are just crying, bro.
It's really unfortunate. So
Yeah.
Melo,
Okay.
please wear good shoes or fix the shoes that you have right now.
Interesting. Okay.
Or high tops at the very
Or
least.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I mean,
yeah, I think going back to Redick, I think he's probably the favorite now for the Lakers, but we'll see.
could that podcast have just been LeBron molding JJ Redick?
We might be onto something here.
Yeah, and who's to say that the guys at ESPN don't have say in what they want for the Lakers? Of course, I'm sure they'll give him a lot of positive credit to if he gets an interview for them to whoever's there.
Right.
Are you saying that
Interview
ESPN controls or has a say in what the league does?
No,
No,
I don't think
I'm
so.
saying that,
Is that what he said?
the guys there that work on the NBA side, they know JJ. They want JJ to get that job. Probably, I would think, because it's good for them. It's good for media. And it's, of course, going to make, I guess, Lakers talk more interesting for them.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
they do have a say.
It's tough
Media.
because, I mean, if you're JJ, it's really.
I don't think you want that job.
You definitely don't want a Lakers job, but like if you're JJ, you already have like you're one of the brilliant basketball minds on ESPN. There's very few of those.
Yeah.
And you obviously have your podcast with Tommy Alter. You have your podcast with LeBron. I think you're just chilling. Why add on that more I understand you want to coach, but like I just feel like for him, he's really in a good spot right now. He doesn't need to.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah, I mean, he very well could. I think he'll do a great job. But I think at the end of the day, ESPN definitely controls the narratives.
That's for sure.
That's definitely what they do. The amount of discourse we've seen over the years with everything, and obviously everything Woj does by leaking stuff. Like the trade deadline's not as, bombshell anymore because we all kind of have a general indication of what's happening. But if JJ gets the Lakers job, it definitely will be interesting. He will not get any blame from any of the Stephen A. Smiths or the Kendrick Perkins. But I'm curious to see if he does get the job and things don't go well, will LeBron blame him? Or will that be kind of the final straw with Rob Pelinka? That's what I'm curious about.
Okay.
But that's even if LeBron comes back, which he might, but we still don't know.
Yeah.
I think if JJ joins the Lakers as the coach, there's no risk for him there.
No, not at all.
No risk.
No.
At all. So I
Not
think
one bit.
why not? If he doesn't do a good job, no risk. You know what I'm saying? Like the blame is not going to be on him. And if he does a good job, all the credit at least half the credit is going to go to him, you know.
Right.
So I think it might be a good idea for him to do that.
Right. I think it'll be more of a better fit if it's after the LeBron era.
Yeah.
Because I think right now the Lakers need an experienced head coach, and they just need a lot more help. They just need a lot of help, period.
Right.
They're just not good enough.
Yeah, they don't need a friend. JJ's like a friend if he joins the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's almost
to
like
LeBron.
conflict of interest.
LeBron's older
essentially.
than JJ. Like you might as well have LeBron coach at that point.
LeBron is a player coach?
Yeah.
That would be cool since Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should see that.
Exactly.
I think we should see that.
He basically already is.
But
Yeah.
I want to see it officially.
He's the coach, the GM, and the owner.
Yeah.
So
The GM.
I mean, that
the
could
coach.
be at least. I would like to see that happen, just so he doesn't blame anyone.
Yeah.
Let LeBron take some accountability because we just don't
really
see
wanna
that
see
anymore.
that. I really
Or
wanna see
let me rephrase that. Let's see him take accountability when they lose.
Yeah.
Because he clearly takes accountability when they win.
Yeah. That's true.
So